Now, aside from the Chatsworth location, Starbucks stores in Lakewood and Long Beach have also started the process to unionize. Joining us now to add to this discussion is employment attorney Angela Reddock-Wright, founder and managing partner of the Reddock Law Group. Angela, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, as Dulce mentioned, one of the main reasons employees are forming a union at the Starbucks is due to safety concerns and COVID measures. Are there other ways that employees can get these issues addressed, or is forming a union the best way or only way to do it?
Well, certainly there are different viewpoints on the value of unionizing versus not unionizing, but certainly Starbucks is going to argue and has argued that they don't think their employees need to unionize in order to be heard. First, Starbucks is arguing that they are one of the leading places to work in the country and in the world. They already, from their perspective, provide fair wages and benefits and things like health care for part-time employees and college tuition reimbursement. So from Starbucks' perspective, they're already working with their employees to provide the best in terms of working terms and conditions. Employees may not feel that way, as is evidenced by the efforts to unionize, but they can pursue their concerns through traditional methods, such as filing complaints internally with human resources, seeking to talk to their managers or supervisors.
Now, although we've seen a lot of Starbucks, more than 100 Starbucks locations try to unionize across the country just in the last few months, most stores are still not going down that path. Why do you think that some employees are holding off and not trying to unionize?
Yeah, well, the decision to unionize is a challenging one. It usually takes a long time for organizers to go around to the different locations to help convince employees that going union is the right way to go. So I would say the 100 or so stores that are already committed is kind of consistent with how long it takes to really bring together a unionizing campaign or organizing campaign for a company as big as Starbucks.
Now, let's talk about the gray area that is union busting. Last week, the National Labor Relations Board issued a complaint against Starbucks, alleging that the company penalized two workers in Phoenix for assisting in efforts to unionize their store. What can a company do and what can it not do when it comes to discouraging employees from joining a union?
Great question. So the National Labor Relations Board is the board that oversees unionization and union activities. And through that board, we have what's called the Federal National Labor Relations Act. And that act is the act that grants employees, no matter what industry they're in, except government industry, the right and the opportunity to unionize. And what that looks like on the ground is employees can solicit one another and speak to one another in non-work hours about unionizing. They can distribute literature, they can wear buttons, they can take action to try to encourage their coworkers to participate in a union campaign. What an employer cannot do is an employer cannot prohibit or take action, as they did in Phoenix, prohibit an employee from engaging in unionized activity. So anything that would try to force that employee or coerce that employee not to engage in union activity, spying or listening in on employee conversations is illegal. And certainly disciplining or retaliating or terminating someone because they're engaged in union activity is prohibited under the law.
Angela Reddock-Wright with the Reddock Law Group, thank you so much for joining us today and helping us clear all this up.
Thank you so much.